What's up everyone, Taiki here, and in this video I want to go over why AI coins like Fartcoin are about to go parabolic in the AI Omegacycle. So if you like the content, please like and subscribe and check out the premium Discord. I post 3 premium videos every single week and I share my portfolio in real time. So as we can see, Fartcoin almost a $500 million market cap. I got a lot of hate for this, but hey, look who's laughing now. AI16Z also hit all-time highs at roughly 70 cents, and interestingly, it flipped GOAT because AI16Z almost at 800 mil, and then GOAT is roughly at 690 mil. So let's first talk about the flipping, right? What is the significance of AI16Z flipping GOAT, and what are the ramifications for the sector moving forward? So obviously, I mean, it feels like forever, but it's only been 2 months, right? Like GOAT launched like 2 months ago. So there are still a lot of unanswered questions on how to value these tokens. But I think it's fairly clear that GOAT, like this meta is not a pure meme meta, okay? Because one of the bull cases for GOAT is that it's the first, it has provenance, and it's not going to be flipped by anything else. But it just got flipped, right? And in this Thread Guy interview that I did last week, I mentioned that there are 2 potential outcomes for the next leg higher in the AI meta, right? First was for GOAT to just pump, right, and lift the ceiling for everything else. And the second outcome, which I think is happening now, is for GOAT to be flipped by something. Because you can argue that GOAT's weakness recently, I mean, let's look at GOAT, right? It's just been super weak. It went down like roughly 65%, I think. Roughly 65%. This was weighing down the entire sector. If people think that GOAT cannot be flipped and GOAT is dumping, then, if AI16Z trades close to GOAT market cap, then people are going to just sell AI16Z, right? Because what's the upside there? But as soon as it does get flipped, right, that psychological ceiling is no longer there. It's no longer being, held down by the weakness of GOAT. So I actually think that this flipping is really bullish everything else except GOAT. That's not to say that I'm bearish GOAT. I still own some GOAT, but it's bullish everything else, than last week, because now the market understands that, wait, it can be flipped. Okay, these things can trade above GOAT, and then people will start doing the mental calculations of, okay, which ones are going to be the new winners. You can argue that GOAT is an agent coin and then AI16Z is an infra coin. So maybe there are 2 subcategories within the AI coin space, and GOAT has yet to be flipped by another agent coin. Yes, you can argue that, but I think it's fairly clear that the market is placing a premium not on agent coins, but on infra coins. So let's talk about the infra coins like AI16Z and I think also Zerebro. So to understand this, I do want to go over, this piece I wrote called the AI meme coin Omegacycle. This was back in late November, and I made a video on this, November 29th as well. So going back, let me find this here. I basically made the argument that, relative to all the attention that the meta has, at the time of recording, the AI meme, right, category had a market cap of 4.3 billion. Roughly equivalent to 1 Ethereum Classic, and I was like, this has to go higher. And at the date of recording, I mean, it's at 6.6. But let's be real with ourselves. I think this has at least a 30x left, if I were to be optimistic, right? And for bubbles to form, or I guess it's pretty clear that we are in a bull market, and in a bull market, the question is what's going to pump the hardest, and you have to think about reflexivity. So reflexivity is a term coined by George Soros, and the theory states that investors don't base their decisions on reality, but rather on their perceptions of reality instead. The actions that result from these perceptions have an impact on reality or fundamentals, which then affect investors' perceptions and thus prices. So as price goes up, people think that the fundamentals are getting better, right? It's there's less career risk going into the section, and as more people enter, it improves the fundamentals. As more people build, maybe there's some cash flow component, price goes up, and then it's kind of this reflexive loop that sends price higher and higher. It allows people to dream, and I think the AI coin space is perfect because internal to crypto, right? People want fair launches, which is what all these AI coins are, and external to crypto, we all obviously we are in some AI super cycle, and it's a massive macro tailwind. And back then, I basically made the prediction on how the AI coin meta is going to play out, how I see the reflexivity playing out. So 2 weeks ago, I think, we were just completely speculating on all these things. It's like, how do we value GOAT? Is it even worth anything? What is AI16Z? Like, why is the logo of like some big booby white waifu girl? What is Zerebro? Is the music even good? Like Fartcoin, like what the fuck, right? That was kind of, the collective conscious 2 weeks ago. That was phase one. I think we're entering phase two. And this is where the reflexivity and the parabolas, right? The parabolas that we're all looking for, I think this is like when it starts forming. So I think, right, yeah. So 2 weeks ago, people thought they were memes. GOAT cannot be flipped. But now, these devs are building, right? You look at, the top trending GitHub repos the past month, and the ELIZA framework is number 2. Interesting. We see, sorry, we see Zerepi. This is like the Zerebro team, which is also a similar framework, also being shipped. So, I mentioned that for the next leg higher, we kind of need investor perception to shift from meme coin, worthless PvP meme coin, to an entirely new sector. Okay? I think the market is still here. I think the market just doesn't believe that this meta has legs. But I think as price goes higher, people are going to have to pay attention. Just think about it, right? People made fun of me. It's like, people made fun of me, right? It's like, I'm a top signal, but now Fartcoin is pumping and everyone is saying, wow, it's the best coin ever, right? AI16Z is pumping. It's like, wow, it's the best coin ever. And we're kind of seeing this happen. And when it comes to like playing these pumps, right? Parabolas, you have to ask yourself, how do these parabolas even form, right? Because if you're buying, let's say you're buying a coin at $1, you basically have to predict that people will want to buy it at $10, okay? And the people buying it at $10 thinks that it has like another 5x left in it, right? So you kind of need to raise the ceiling for potential total addressable market, potential market caps for all these things. And maybe, right, just having it be pure memes is like, okay, like it can't really go over $1 billion. But what if it's AI infra, right? What if AI16Z is, building a framework? What if it's like an L1? People are building on top of ELIZA. I didn't even know this was possible, but yesterday I saw this post called autonomous ICOs or AICOs, where they're going to use ELIZA, right, that framework, to basically remove the human for ICOs and replace it, replace the human, which who greedy humans, and replace it with an AI. So maybe we can have like a systems-based or like a rules-based ICO where like the funds unlock over time, right, based on milestones or something. I'm not even sure if it's gonna work, but I mean something like this, I didn't even know like was possible a week ago, right? But obviously, as more and more people build, right, open source, like using ELIZA, then yeah, like of course there's gonna be a bunch of innovations in the next couple of weeks, right? Like I said, it's only been 2 months. What's the space gonna look like in the next 2 months? Okay. I think people are gonna start, talking themselves into thinking, or it's accepting the fact that AI16Z isn't a meme. It's AI infra. It's open source AI agent infra, right? It's gonna be like the hub of like agentic transform. People are gonna start using big buzzwords to justify why this thing is gonna go to like $20 billion market cap, which I think is possible, honestly. So I think, you kind of have to think about the reflexivity, right? People aren't going to buy these things if they're pure memes. But if they think they're infra coins, then yeah, the ceiling goes up. And then it becomes reflexive, price goes up. It's like, wow, like these are amazing infra tokens. They launched from zero. It allowed everyone to get in early. And then the cult community is very strong. The developer community they're shipping. Oh my God, they're shipping. What's it going to look like? Oh my God, we have to buy this coin, right? So you can kind of see this reflexivity play out. And AI16Z, I mean, obviously right now, there's not much to show for it. But who's to say that in the next month, they can't come out with like a pump fund competitor for AI agents? Why not, right? They have the devs, they have the users. Why can't they build new products? And then, as new catalysts emerge, it allows people to, tell themselves, wow, like, this is like the biggest trade of the cycle, right? I mean, I do think this is the biggest trade of the cycle, which is like why I've been averaging into these coins for the past 2 months. I've just been buying, and then, the question is like, how do we play this meta, right? Because admittedly, right, I I try my hardest. I think I've done pretty well so far, honestly. But the future is very uncertain, because I think like a month ago I was saying that Goat's going to go to like $5 billion. And I think that's possible, but I think the probability of that has gone down. So you always have to adapt with the meta. And also like I'm a guy like that has like a green dildo, right? So like please don't take me seriously. So yeah. So I think AI 16Z Zerebro. Okay, so yeah, I think people think Zerebro is just some random agent coin, right? It's like it's like some random reply guy. But if AI 16Z starts pumping and then they ship ZeroPi, yeah, like why can't it trade at par with AI 16Z or something, right? So you kind of have to predict these things. But let's talk about my favorite coin. Let's talk about my favorite coin, because I love this coin. I love this coin, and it's called Fartcoin. Okay, it's called Fartcoin. I think it's the chosen one. So let's go back to the reflexivity, right? In bull markets, you want to bet on reflexive assets. I think Fartcoin is the most reflexive asset in crypto that exists today. Okay, as price goes up, people find it ridiculous. It's like, oh my God, how can this happen? Why Fartcoin? I don't even know what the fundamentals are, right? It's like everyone farts, right? The total addressable market of Fartcoin is huge, right? Because everyone farts, even animals fart. And then it captures so much attention. And I personally think that Fartcoin has already hit exit velocity, and it could be one of the biggest meme coins this cycle. It's hilarious because Fartcoin got to its current market cap and liquidity profile by LARPing as an AI meme coin. I mean, technically, yes, it kind of is an AI meme coin, because Truth Terminal, which was trained using internet subculture like 4chan, Reddit forum posts, right? So Truth Terminal determined that the humans loved fart jokes, so therefore the best meme is Fartcoin, right? So it's somewhat a data-driven meme coin, because there's actually like research, right, that went into this, but we're kind of seeing this playing out. So for whatever reason, TradFi loves Fartcoin, or they love talking about Fartcoin, and using it as an example of how ridiculous the market has become. So Cuppy is a respected fund manager, and this kind of sounds similar to me like 3 months ago, right? It's like, okay, I spent a long time studying cash flows and balance sheets. Now I'm a boomer, and I got outfoxed by guys buying Fartcoin. That's kind of in my transition. 3 months ago, I was analyzing DeFi analysis, and now I'm like, you know what, like Fartcoin is bullish, right? And I own a lot of Fartcoin. Fartcoin is my largest position, actually, and I love it, right? I feel it underexposed. So there's like this funny Reddit meme, right? It's like, my husband put a significant amount of net worth in a coin called Fartcoin. What do I do? And then he only responds with crypto jargon like hot air rises. It's true, right? It's scientifically proven. People have DM me saying like, was this your fiance? Because I did get engaged, and my fiance, she doesn't really watch my videos, but as soon as I started flinging like this around, right, she was like, Taiki, are you okay? Like, why are you buying Fartcoin? I thought you were like a serious person. And I'm like, babe, I'm completely serious, right? Just look at me, completely serious. Look at this, right? Ooh, voodoo, right? But now she understands, right? We fart together, and we share laughs together. Anyways, I don't know what I don't know where I'm going with this, but Sven Henrik, Northman trader, 500,000 followers, loves to talk about how Fartcoin is like, why is the Fed cutting rates when Fartcoin's at a $200 million market cap? Why $280 million market cap? Let's cut rates. 330. What are fund managers doing? 450. We need to hike rates, right? We need to hike rates. Think about it. Bloomberg, CNBC, they're gonna be like, wow, Fartcoin's at $2. Why is the Fed cutting rates? We're in an asset bubble, right? They're gonna use, like, the boomers love talking about how Fartcoin is a sign of the end of times. This guy, I don't even know who this guy is. This is worse than the tech bubble. Fartcoin should not be worth this much. Citrini, upper class in 2030. He's from the Smith family. They made their fortune in Fartcoin. Maybe this is me, hopefully, unless I round trip everything. Bar chart, I love Fartcoin. And then this guy, I've been helping people manage their money for more than 20 years, only to watch Fartcoin reach a market cap of basically $500 million, right? It's just pumping. People love Fartcoin. If you go to cookie.fun, which is kind of like this, AI agent like analysis dashboard, it has like this thing called like top 10 AI agents mindshare, and Fartcoin is at 20%. It's not even an AI agent, but it somehow found its way in this category, right? So if you think the AI category goes up, then there's gonna be passive attention flows that go into Fartcoin, but it's not even an AI coin, It's uncorrelated to GOAT at this point. It's uncorrelated to anything. It's just Fartcoin. Every time I fart, I think of Fartcoin. That's mindshare, and the AI chose it, Think about it, right? Some random TikToker 4 months from now is gonna be like, yo, Fartcoin is an AI coin. Fartcoin was picked by an AI. Actually, that's kind of what I'm doing now. And maybe this is like a really good top signal, but hey, I think this is a chosen one. Winners, average winners. I own a lot of Fartcoin. I own a lot of Fartcoin. I own a lot of Fartcoin. So then the question is like, how do we play this, right? Because obviously, I have my bags, right? Some of my bags. And the hardest part is, I think, like writing the parabolas. So the final part of the video I want to talk about is, how to mentally prepare myself. Or, I can't speak for you, but I'll talk about how I'm personally mentally preparing myself. And I'll talk about Aave because, like I said, I kind of compared, the AI Omegacycle with that of DeFi Summer, right? Where YFI, it launched, created this category, or it validated a category, and then the collective market cap of DeFi went from 5 billion to 170 billion. I think AI coins can get much bigger than that, but the jury is still out. And me personally, last cycle, I rode Aave. I wasn't that early, right? I think I bought like somewhere here, and I remember exactly what happened when this thing went like crazy. So as you can see, Aave, right, in 2020, it kind of went up, and then like right here, like we kind of dumped. And I think the AI coins, we're kind of getting out of like the correction phase now. I think the AI coins were in this period of testing where it's really testing the holder base of like how much conviction do you really have, right? Because Aave went down roughly 70%. GOAT went down 65%. Fartcoin went down like 70%, right? A lot of these coins went down a lot. And the strong ones, like they've recovered. Fartcoin has recovered. AI16Z has recovered. So the question is, if all these assets break all-time highs, how high can they go? And how parabolic can they go? From the bottom, Aave went from $26 to $630, roughly 2,400%. Basically a straight line, right? Like a 25x essentially in 13 weeks, 3 months. And I think something like this is in the cards. I don't really know which one is going to be the strongest, but like from my perspective, if I think that AI memes are going to go from like 7 to like 100, I just have to pick the winners. I don't need to buy $1 million market cap that goes to $1 billion. I can just size into the winners now, ride them up 10x roughly, and just take profits over time, So I'm more optimizing for position sizing than trying to get the best possible entry out there, And that's part of the reason why I got like made fun of for like buying Fartcoin, because I bought some here, I bought some there, and then I really bought a lot here. If you're in the Discord, like I was buying like every single day. People thought I was delusional. I think I am delusional, but I think for you to ride a parabolas in a bull market, you do have to have that element of delusion inside you. You have to believe, because for you to ride this, right? Think about it. How can you hold a bag for a 25x and not sell on the way up? Of course, I kind of sold on the way up, but like how do you ride that? You really do have to believe, because if you zoom in on this, it's going to zoom in on Aave here. It's going to go back. It looks so easy in hindsight, but there were so many big drawdowns on the way up. Like this was like a 40% drawdown. This was roughly like another 33% drawdown. Like there was like a drawdown here, right? Another 33%. There was like this crazy wick here where like from peak to trough it was like down 33%. And then like think about it, like it looks so easy in hindsight, right? It's like, yeah, like, of course, you know, if I was around back then, I would have bought Aave and I would have rode it to the top. But when you're living in the moment, it's really hard, because for assets to go parabolic, like these assets have to be really misunderstood. These assets have to be really difficult to value. And it's going to be just mentally just like disgusting to like hold through all like all this volatility. I mean, even in the past, yeah, it's looking at Fartcoin, right? I mean, literally, you know, it just, you know, it literally went down like 65%. And then it's just completely reversed in basically a straight line, right? Like, there's going to be so many opportunities that you can talk yourself into selling. And like selling is not bad, right? But for me, I have just built so much conviction in the AI coin Omegacycle in the past 2 months. And I've been setting up for this moment. Like, I have prepared myself mentally, financially for this moment. And I think for me, I can't speak for you, but for me, I'm going to believe, okay? I believe that we are going to see something like this play out, some parabolic phase play out. How high is it going to go? Is Fartcoin going to go, like, is AI 16, is it going to go 5x, 10x, 20x? I don't know. 30x? I don't know. But I believe that it's going to happen. I believe that, you know, let's say 3 months from now, people are going to look back on this video, you know, and be like, wow, AI 16Z was trading at 70 cents. That was the easiest buy ever, right? That was the easiest buy ever. That was the easiest 10x ever. You know, I need people, or I need to believe in a world where people think that. Okay, I need to believe in a world where 3 months from now, AI 16Z is at 7 billion, and people are looking back on this video and be like, wow, if only I bought. You know, it was so easy. Of course, in the moment, I don't know what the fuck's gonna happen, honestly. You know, I honestly think, if I were to give you my honest thoughts, I think this thing goes vertical. I think AI 16Z goes vertical. I think Fartcoin goes vertical. Very reflexive, very misunderstood. Okay? I think when people realize, and I mean, this is already happening, right? This is like slowly happening. But once people realize that it's not just some random meme meta, it's AI infra meta, agent meta, right? People are going to start buying, right? They're going to start putting like ridiculous price targets, and it's going to be vertical accumulation. That is the world that I'm preparing myself for. I'm preparing my mind for that, because if I don't prepare my mind for that, I'm going to paper hand these bags. But in a bull market, I need to shed my bear market PTSD. I need to believe in my bags. And I come from the world of DeFi. And if there's anything that DeFi guys are good at, it's in believing in their bags, right? Just believing in our bags, you know? And I understand that I sound delusional. I understand that this is ridiculous. But I really do believe that in a bull market, I just have to imagine the size of the green dildos. And I think AI 16Z can have fantastic green dildos. Fartcoin, glorious green dildos. People are going to be so mad. It'll be the most hated rally. It's the most reflexive asset in all of crypto. That is the world I believe in. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. And maybe I round trip something I saw, you know? But, you know, this is the moment to psychologically prepare myself. I can't speak for you, right? I can't speak for you. I can only speak for myself, okay? My channel for the past 2 months have only covered AI coins. Like basically, right? Only AI coins. I have built so much conviction where I just think they're gonna send, you know, like some coins, you know, I own a bunch of other coins, like, you know, maybe they're not doing so well. But I think, you know, for me, I just bought a bunch of coins because it really was hard to decide, to pick who the winners were going to be. But I think, you know, in this bounce, you know, it's okay, it's AI 16Z and like Fartcoin. Those are the strongest coins for now. That could change. There's a bunch of new coins popping up. I think if you're entering this meta, right, and you think like this is like way too big or something, I think there's a lot of opportunities in the trenches. There's a lot of coins going from 1 million market cap to $100 million market cap in a very short period of time. That's not really my edge, right? I am not good at, you know, like just writing from something from basically zero to this is not my game. My game is having conviction in the second leg, right? Of course, the second leg is more risky in the sense that, you know, it might be closer to the end than the beginning. But The second leg has less risk in the sense that, okay, like for it to have gone up this much, there are buyers, there's an actual thesis behind it, there's actual fundamentals behind it, and the question is, how high can this go? And it does matter, like, whether I get like a 10x or like a 20x, it does make a big difference in the grand scheme of things in terms of like my overall net worth. But from my perspective, right, like a 7x or like a 12, it doesn't really matter to me, right? As long as I catch the meat of the move. And of course, me sizing into like AI16Z, Fartcoin, Zerebro, like maybe, they're not going to have like the biggest multiple, but relative to the amount of risk I'm taking on, I feel like, my sleep adjusted return for owning Fartcoin is fairly good. So that's how I'm thinking about things. I am personally psychologically preparing myself for the parabolic phase. Sorry, I can't speak because I'm getting so excited. I think that the AI coins are like roughly here. If you look at the ABE chart, it went through a period of testing. We're bouncing, and then the question is like, how high are we going to go to? How high are we going to send? I think these things can go insane. XRP added like 100 billion in market cap in a very short period of time. So, I mean, of course, XRP is like a very, niche example, obviously. But things can get really crazy, right? Like, things can get really crazy. Like, what if Fartcoin just becomes huge, right? It can get huge, like Elon Musk makes a fart joke, finds it hilarious. I don't know. I don't know what it's going to take. But I think the AI coin category is going to be one of those things that if it does pump 10, 30x, it's going to be so obvious in hindsight. And that's where I want to be. Okay. That is where I want to be. So what are my thoughts? Green dildos loading in the AI Omegacycle. That is where I'm at. Okay. Green dildos loading in the AI Omegacycle. Thank you guys for watching. If you're interested in more premium videos, check out my premium Discord, and I'll see you guys another time. Bye-bye.